This is the journey into light. Walk with courage, and you will never walk alone again.
Lodge officer duties and responsibilities. 3 Freemasons walking around. Masonic Lodge officer duties are solely dependent upon leadership. Masonic Lodge officers, as they move through the Masonic officer chairs, as in any organization, could not properly function without a leadership team, which provides Masonic officer training. A successful organization's future depends upon how well this team of lodge officers work together to provide Masonic officer training. In the business world, an organization is built around presidents, vice presidents, general managers, regional managers, supervisors, and workers. Each position plays an important part in order for the organization to be profitable and successful. In essence, the Masonic Lodge officer duties and Masonic officer training structure, much like their counterparts in the business world, shoulder the lodge officer responsibilities, which makes a lodge successful. Masonic Lodge Progressive Line. Lodge officers are part of a progressive line, which is also known as going through the chairs, or as the Masonic officer chairs. This line of succession moves up one position at a time from one year to the next. If no one asks to step out of line for any reason, 7 years from the time of becoming Junior Steward, the Master Mason will arrive at the chair of the Worshipful Master. The progression is as follows: Junior Steward, Junior Deacon, Senior Deacon, Junior Warden, Senior Warden, and then Worshipful Master. The progressive line is used in the United States and in many other jurisdictions as well. Lodge elections. In the Masonic Lodge, the top 5 lodge officers are in this order: the Worshipful Master, the Senior Warden, Junior Warden, Treasurer, and Secretary are elected by the lodge members at their annual elections. Normally, each position is filled for 1 year. However, they may be re-elected to the same position depending on the circumstance. Lodge elections are performed via a Masonic ballot box. Masonic Lodge officer duties. For their term in office, 1-year appointed lodge officer positions. The other officers, which include the Senior Deacon, Junior Deacon, Senior Steward, Junior Steward, Marshal, Tyler, and Chaplain, are appointed positions by the Worshipful Master. Other members of the Masonic Lodge may be called on to serve on any of the numerous committees by the Worshipful Master. Lodge officer duties and names. The duties and names of the officers are taken from very old customs, dating back to the medieval stonemasons' guilds. Masonic Lodge jewels. In England in the 1400s, under the reign of King Edward III, local city governments grew out of the merchant and craft industries in each city or town. After an operative master stonemason created his master's piece to the satisfaction of the master of his craft or guild, he was considered a master mason. Heads of the guilds became heads of their town councils, mayors, sheriffs, etc. During this time, one of the ways which a local official proclaimed his rank was by wearing a badge of office, or jewel, on a chain around his neck. The practice is still in use today in England. If you have ever watched a ceremony wherein a Lord Mayor, regular mayor in the United States, attends a formal ribbon-cutting event, you would see an ornate necklace, which is the medallion, signature of his office, around his neck. Masonic Lodge officers carry over this ancient guild tradition today in the form of the symbolic jewels of their offices. Masonic officer chairs, duties, and jewels of office. Worshipful Master, Lodge officer duties. His jewel is the square, which is a stonemason's tool to ascertain true and correct angles of the cut and smoothed stone. Thus his jewel symbolizes virtue. The Worshipful Master of a Masonic Lodge is the highest ranking of all lodge officers, which a lodge may elect. The Worshipful Master sits in the east of the lodge room, symbolic of the rising sun in the east, and directs all of the business of the lodge. Note, even if the building faces a different direction, the master is said to be in the east. He also presides over ritual and ceremonies. It is the master who bears the blame. Therefore, the master wears many hats. It is his duty to preside over business meetings, the conferral of degrees, and delegation of duties to all other lodge officers. While Freemasons call the master Worshipful Master, they do not, as some people may erroneously believe, actually worship him. Worshipful is an honorary title which shows respect for his position. In France, The word worshipful is replaced with the word venerable. It is no different than respecting the office of our President of the United States. He would be addressed formally as Mr. President, rather than by his first name. Likewise, if you go before a judge, you would address him as Your Honor, rather than by his first name, as a measure of respect that you hold for his office. Senior Warden, Lodge Officer Duties. His jewel is the level, symbolizing that all Masons meet on the level, without regard to social, political, or religious beliefs or status. The Senior Warden of a Masonic Lodge is the second in command within the Lodge officers. In the absence of the Worshipful Master, the Senior Warden assumes the Worshipful Master's duties. The Senior Warden of a Masonic Lodge sits in the west, symbolic of the setting sun, and assists the Worshipful Master in opening and closing the lodge. The Senior Warden is in charge of the lodge when it is at labor. His position is similar to a vice president of any organization. His ancient duties were to pay the craft, the members of the guild, their wages and to handle disputes among the workers. It is his duty to support the master and to prepare himself for that office during the following year. Junior Warden, Lodge Officer Duties. His jewel of office is the plumb, which is a stonemason's instrument used for ascertaining the alignment of a vertical surface. It symbolizes upright behavior among Masons. The Junior Warden of a Masonic Lodge is the third in command of the lodge. The Junior Warden sits in the south, symbolic of the position of the sun at midday, and is responsible for the brethren while the lodge is at ease or refreshment. His position is similar to a second vice president. The Junior Warden, too, may open the lodge if the master is unable to attend the meeting. It is the Junior Warden's duty to arrange meals for the lodge, and, typically, the two stewards act as his assistants in this responsibility. Symbolically, it is also his duty to make certain that the members do not convert their refreshment into intemperance or excess. This is a holdover from earlier days, which still remains as part of the Junior Warden's job description, even though in most U.S. jurisdictions, alcohol is barred from the lodge. Which officers can open the lodge? The master, the senior warden, the junior warden, or a past master? Senior Deacon, Lodge Officer Duties. His jewel is the square and compass with the sun in the middle. The sun signifies that his position is on the lower level, to the right of the Worshipful Master in the east. His duty is as messenger of the Worshipful Master, hence he does a lot of walking. The Senior Deacon of a Masonic Lodge is an assistant officer of the lodge. The Senior Deacon's principal roles are to welcome and escort both visitors and candidates into the lodge and introduce distinguished visitors. It is his duty to assist the Worshipful Master and carry orders between the Worshipful Master and the Senior Warden. During degree rituals, he guides the new candidate and conducts him around the lodge room. During the opening and closing ceremonies, the Senior Deacon opens the Holy Scriptures to the correct passage of the degree being worked and closes it after the lodge is adjourned. The Junior Deacon and the Tyler communicate with each other by knocking on the door, the Tyler from the outside and the Junior Deacon from the inside. Some jurisdictions split this position into two positions, that of the Junior Deacon and the Inner Guard. The Junior Warden's position is similar to a manager. Senior Steward, Lodge Officer Duties. His jewel is the cornucopia, which is an exact duplicate of the Junior Steward's cornucopia. The cornucopia signifies the horn of plenty. It is a goat horn filled with the fresh fruits and vegetables to denote the fruits of your labors and represents a job well done. The Senior Steward of a Masonic Lodge is an appointed officer of the lodge. The Senior Steward is tasked to understudy the Junior Deacon's position and fill in for the Junior Deacon when absent. The Junior Deacon's principal role is to prepare the candidates during ritual and escort them to the lodge room and assist the Senior Deacon. In their entry officer positions, both the Senior and Junior Stewards typically handle kitchen duties and waitstaff for the members. The Senior Steward's position is similar to that of a supervisor. Junior Steward, Lodge Officer Duties. His jewel is the cornucopia, which is an exact duplicate to the Senior Steward's cornucopia. The cornucopia signifies the horn of plenty. It is a goat horn filled with the fruits of your labors and represents a job well done. The Junior Steward of a Masonic Lodge is an appointed officer of the lodge. The Junior Steward is tasked to understudy the Senior Steward position and fill in for the Senior Steward in his absence. The Junior Steward's principal role is to assist the Senior Steward and the Senior Deacon in the preparation of the candidates. Both the senior and junior stewards carry rods, atop which are the jewels of their offices. The rods represent England's Lord High Steward's rod in the House of Lords. The junior steward position is similar to that of a supervisor. Lodge officer duties for those not in the progressive line. The following officers do not usually move in the progressive line. Many times they have already progressed through all the chairs and choose to serve their lodge in different positions. Treasurers and secretaries often serve their lodge in their respective positions for many years. Continuity in these positions is vital to a well-run and efficient lodge. Training takes time, and if these officer positions changed each year, financial and accounting chaos would occur. Treasurer, lodge officer duties. His jewel is a pair of crossed keys, signifying he is the collector and distributor of all lodge monies, as he holds the keys to the cash box. The treasurer of a Masonic Lodge is the chief financial officer of the lodge. He sits to the right of the master and behind the senior deacon. The treasurer is responsible for all financial transactions. He receives all money, pays all debts by order of the worshipful master with the consent of the lodge, and renders a report when requested. The treasurer does not need to be in possession of an accounting degree. However, experience with bookkeeping and accounting is an asset. Financial bookkeeping transactions may be performed either by hand or by the use of accounting software.